Welcome back to the Community Review on Hot 92.3. I'm Josefa Salinas, your host. What a morning. We are dealing with the incredible subject of molestation and how it affects people's lives, families' lives, relationships, and how a woman feels about herself. 1 in 4 women today are molested. It usually happens before 14, sometimes under 18. 80% of victims know their predator. On the phone with us, our good friend and the person who's always with us, helping us work things out, Dr. Gilda Carle. Good morning, Dr. Gilda.
Good morning, Josefa, you beautiful, lovely lady.
How are you?
I'm just great. How are you doing?
I am highly favored this morning. So what did you think? Wasn't this amazing? I mean, to come out after all these years, to come forward and tell your grown daughters about your molestation, to tell the world, because your hope is that maybe you can give one woman, one girl, the encouragement that she needs to tell someone. That was really what this woman wanted to come forward for. She said if she could just save one girl from going through what she went through.
This woman is all about giving. It's such a beautiful story when you think about it. It's a horrible story, but it's bittersweet, because here she had been holding this in throughout her life, and that's 60-some-odd years, she said. And she was just holding on to all this hurt and all this pain, and it had to color everything she did in her life. And yet she raised some beautiful children, 4 children, 2 of whom are daughters, and I met them, and they are just wonderful, beautiful women.
Yes.
And you know, and their life is all about giving as well. So, you know, everything happens, whatever happens to us really happens for us. And she turned that 4 around to understand what it was all about and the meaning behind it, and how she was going to prevent another molestation if she possibly could by doing this show with you.
So let's talk a little bit about what she was talking about. There were several points in there where she talked about feeling guilty and feeling that perhaps she had brought it on and that it was her fault. I know that this is what a lot of women or girls who are molested somehow feel, that it's their fault and that they brought it on.
Yeah, well, this is one of the problems that we have in dealing with molestation, in trying to heal the pain from it. First, a woman has to accept the fact that she did not bring this on, and especially when this occurs, and this occurred to this woman at 8 years old. Now, what 8-year-old is so seductive that she's going to be able to entice an older brother-in-law? Come on. But in a young girl's mind, where she is so impressionable and impressed by people who are bigger than her and stronger than her and seem to see the world from different kinds of eyes. I mean, this is understandable. She is not alone. Every single victim feels as though it was in part her fault. And interestingly, in this story, is when she went ahead and told her sister about this, her sister said, well, yeah, girls who are molested do bring it on themselves because they enjoy it. And she had to start questioning whether she was actually enjoying it. Now, let's face facts. We're talking about sexual molestation. The sex organs are very pleasurable, and there has to be some kind of feeling good related to the sensation that the young girl is getting. So she figures in her own way that, yeah, well, she may have enjoyed it a little bit, enjoyed the feeling, so maybe she did bring it on. But everybody out there who is listening to this, understand you have nothing to do with somebody forcing himself on you.
So how do we help them heal?
We have to understand that they must go to somebody they can trust and tell that person. That's very, very valuable. Most of these girls have held it in. In this woman's case, note how she said, oh, my brother-in-law told me. This was our little secret. And besides, if I were to tell anybody about this, they're probably doing the same things anyway. So she elected not to tell anybody. And she said in her own words, I have been miserable for 60-plus years. What a way to live a life. Nobody deserves to be a hostage for so many years. Nobody deserves that kind of fate. And I want to give young girls and older women the opportunity to understand this morning that they can change their fate. They can change what's going on. If anybody is touching them inappropriately, if anybody is making snide remarks at them that they know is not acceptable, they must go to somebody older whom they can trust. Now, here she went to her sister and talked about this, and then her sister got angry at her because she said it was her fault that her sister had lost the baby and she had a miscarriage. And it was her fault that her sister ended up getting divorced from this thug, and now her children had no father. It was her fault because she supposedly betrayed her sister, who was like a mother to her. So imagine all this guilt that this woman has been carrying around. And, you know, you can say, well, you know, the sister was uninformed. But reality is that there are a lot of people who are uninformed. And they will point the finger at blame because they're not willing to look in the mirror and look at the kind of mate they have attracted. We have to be bigger than that. We must take control of our own emotions and know what is wrong, and we've got to stand up for ourselves.
How do we talk? Now, I'm sure that there's women out there in the listening audience who silently to themselves are acknowledging the conversations that have been had today, but have never told, and some of them never will because they just don't want to face what has happened to them. Give us some things that they can do personally to help themselves heal.
Well, first of all, understand that molestation is not about sexual gratification as much as it is about control. Understand that when this woman told her story, this brother-in-law was upset because he didn't want her to go to the movies or talk to boys. He wanted total control over her. And I want every single young woman and older woman to ask herself, does anybody have the right to control me? You see, it all begins with you. Once you recognize that you are your own beautiful, wonderful person, and you have the right to live a beautiful, fabulous, vital life without being controlled by anybody, and especially any man, then you will stand up for yourself and understand your own power. This is all about not his control over you, but your personal empowerment. You must believe that you deserve to take care of yourself. You must believe that you deserve to stand up for what is right for your precious body, which is your temple. You must believe that not only do you have that right, but you have the obligation to do that for your future. You don't deserve to have this kind of situation weigh you down, burden you, and color the rest of your experiences.
Now, what about young girls who might be in a situation where they're afraid to say anything because, let's say it's an uncle, and if you say something, you know your father will kill your uncle. If you say something, maybe it's a stepfather or a father. If you say something, then the parents will get divorced, and then you won't have a family anymore. How do we help someone in a situation like that?
Well, first of all, we have to understand that we have an obligation to ourselves first. You know,
but how does a young girl know that she has an obligation to herself?
Because it's like the workshop that we ran this summer. It was teaching these girls to understand that they are it girls. That means that they walk around with a capital I. I am wonderful. I am beautiful. Now, if you tell your father and he chooses to murder your uncle, where is your responsibility? Is your responsibility to protect yourself or to protect your uncle and your father from committing murder? If you are that afraid that your father will do something that will be not so good for you to live with. Find somebody who you can really trust and whom you can talk to. Maybe it's that person who will then go to your father and tell your father, look, something has happened. And maybe adult to adult will be able to have more of a clarified conversation.
Or maybe that person can go straight to the uncle and say, hey, we know, and this is going to stop.
That's always a possibility. Now, the uncle might be so ashamed that, or he may be so ashamed that he will stop. But more likely, he'll deny, and make you seem like the crazy one. That's why I always like going to somebody who's far more impartial, and even if it's a policewoman, but somebody who's far more impartial so she can deliver the message to the person to whom it must be delivered.
Right.
You really have to feel for these young girls who are being molested, because they feel, not that they are, but they feel like they're not strong enough to battle this beast.
But they are.
Here is a woman who came out of her shell 60-plus years later. And I'm going to say to every young girl who is listening to this program right now, you want to wait 60 years until you finally come to grips with this pain? You deserve better. And Dr. Gilda Carle, I am letting you know, you deserve better.
How about her relationship with her husband? She said that they hadn't spoken about the incident. He knows about it. She was very honest with him up front and told him before they got married that this had happened to her because she felt she needed to tell him, and they haven't really discussed it since then. So
this is not unlike a lot of marriages where, oh, yeah, that was a terrible thing. Let's not talk about it. They've been living with three entities in that marriage: him, her, and the secret. And as much as they would like that under the rug, the secret is always there. And it's always behind the scenes. It's always there, no matter what happens. And so just because you don't discuss a secret doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. So at this point, the two of them, it would be best, now that she's gotten so far out into the open about it, it would be best if she and he have a real heart-to-heart about her feelings and how she has been holding it in, and to ask him, what has this meant for you over the years? How have you felt about holding this secret in? Let him talk, because this has been a burden for him, too. Don't forget, he found her as a sweet young woman, and they've been together for 46 years of marriage. So they obviously have a really good, deep love for one another. But this deep love can get even deeper and even more meaningful once they share the secret, so that it's out in the open and it is no longer the hidden burden that might pop up at any time, might fearfully pop up and interrupt the flow of their marriage.
Very good. Well, as always, you are a wealth of information and inspiration, and I hope today that we have given maybe just a little bit of encouragement. If you are out there and you have gone through this, or if this is happening to you, on my page at hot923.com, keyword Josefa, there'll be the link to Dr. Gilda Carle, is drgildacarle.com. And there is also going to be links to agencies who can give you help. You are not alone. You do not have to go through this by yourself. Indeed. There are people who will help you. If you don't want to call somebody, go to a teacher, go to an aunt, go to a friend, go to someone and let them know this is happening so that this can stop today. Because if you don't stop it, and let's say the person stops doing it with you, what if they go do it to someone else?
Like your sister, like your younger sister.
Or your daughter.
Or your daughter.
Yeah, 20, 30 years pass and it happens to your daughter.
Oh, God forbid.
So there's a way to stop it, and it can be stopped. You have to be empowered, and you have to know that you have people here who will help you, who will stand behind you, who will give you information and help you. And young men, too. It happens to young men just like it happens to young women.
What? While girls or females tend to talk about this maybe much later, but they do tend to talk about this. Guys prefer to hold things in. Guys, don't do it. This is bad for your health, too.
Once again, if you want more information, come to drgilda.com. She's going to be right there with all the information, and reach out to you. Let her talk with you and help you. Or you can go to hot923.com, keyword Josefa, and I will make sure that I've got the links up there to send you to some places where you can get some help. Or if you just want to talk to me, you can talk to me, too. Dr. Gilda, thank you for everything.
I love you, Josefa.
Love you, too. See you this year at How to Be a Girl.
I wouldn't miss that for the world.
Moving along with the pulse of the community, we've got in the house with us Nicole Ruben, the CEO of Ronald McDonald House Charities, talking about their upcoming walk.
Hi, thank you so much for having me today.
Nicole, everybody's heard about the Ronald McDonald House, but a lot of them really don't know what goes on there. If I walked in the door of one of these Ronald McDonald houses, what would I see?
You would see families, you would see volunteers helping our families and cooking meals for them in the evenings. We have a very kind-hearted staff who try to take care of each individual family's needs. And we have 5 Ronald McDonald houses in Southern California today. We're in the process of building a 6th one in Long Beach. And we also have a camp for children with cancer and their families, which is in Idlewild.
And what was the purpose of the Ronald McDonald houses? What are they for?
Ronald McDonald houses really provide a home away from home for families with seriously ill children. And while their child is in the hospital, they may be traveling from a far distance to get to the best possible place for their child's care. And many of these families don't think about where they're going to stay, but when they need to be there, day after day and sometimes months after months, finding a place to stay and take care of their family as a whole becomes really important. And that's where the Ronald McDonald House comes in.
So tell me all about the upcoming Walk for Kids.
This will be the 11th year of the event in the region, and really the 2nd year that we're doing it in multiple locations all across the region. It will take place on Sunday, April the 10th. And we'll be at Exposition Park. We'll also have a walk at the Honda Center in Orange County and at Victoria Gardens in Rancho Cucamonga in the Inland Empire.
Okay, now how do I register if I want to be a part of this Walk for Kids on April 10th?
There are many ways to participate in the walk. It's really a family event, so it's very appropriate for children and adults alike and grandparents too. And so you can register as a team, you can register as an individual. The way to register is online at walkforkids.org.
Now, talking about the Ronald McDonald houses and their programs, do you guys ever need volunteers?
We need volunteers. We would not be able to operate our programs without volunteers. And so whether it's at a Ronald McDonald House or Camp Ronald McDonald for Good Times, we have a number of ways that people can get involved. Some involve helping in the office, some involve preparing meals for families, doing activities with our families. And then for camp, we have work weekends where we have groups that go up and help us either open the camp or close it down at the end of the season. And then we have camp volunteers who really put the program on for an entire week. So we have a variety of ways that people can help.
Okay, so now just tell me, how do we get involved if we want to volunteer?
To become a volunteer, I would encourage you to visit our website, rmhcsc.org, and you can learn about the program that's closest to where you live or where you work or that you have the greatest interest in, and then you can see what kinds of volunteer opportunities are available for each of our locations.
Well, Nicole, thank you so much for coming in today. Nicole Ruben, CEO of Ronald McDonald House Charities. Again, give us the website to go in case we want to volunteer or make a donation, or where can we go to sign up if we want to be a part of this incredible walk, the Walk for Kids, happening April 10th.
The walk will be a very great day, and so to register for the walk, which is Sunday, April the 10th, you can log on to walkforkids.org. You can join as an individual or form a team, and then join us at any one of our 3 locations, Exposition Park, the Honda Center, or Victoria Gardens. And we look forward to seeing you. Thank you very much.
Well, we look forward to being out there again. It's Walk for Kids happening on April 10th, and the website is walkforkids.org. And now taking it out to the pulse of the community, something that affects us right here in Los Angeles. MTV, don't you just love them? They've got the most amazing shows. The Buried Life is on there, and they're on a mission to help clean up the world. And they're encouraging others to live clean with them. On the phone with us, a couple of cast members of The Buried Life. We've got, the ringleader, Ben, with us, and the business manager, Duncan. Good morning.
Yo, what's up?
Hey, fellas. So, number one, how much fun is it to be on TV?
It's not bad. It's not bad. Here's the thing. It's actually kind of interesting story. We never started Buried Life to get on TV. We're all friends in the same hometown in Canada, and we started Buried Life about 5 years ago. We just made a list of 100 things to do before you die, got an RV, and took 2 weeks off one summer, crossing things off and helping other people. And people just got excited about it, so we did it the next summer and the next summer. And then one of the things on our list is make a TV show with your friends. And so we cut a pilot, came down to L.A., and sold it to MTV. So that's kind of how it all happened.
Wow, that is very cool. So what's the number one thing on your list to do before you die?
I think it would be different for everybody, but the one that we actually just accomplished was probably my favorite. We just played basketball against Obama, something we've been working on for a long time.
Wow, that was cool.
Yeah. And actually one of the things we're working on right now is number 61, paint an epic mural. And it's kind of cool. So Orbit Gum is helping us cross it off, and we're going to involve the fans as well because they always love to get involved and help us out. So we're going to paint an epic mural somewhere in the United States, but we don't know where, and fans are voting on where we paint it. So if you go to clean.orbitgum.com, you can vote on where we paint this epic mural. And then, we're hoping that fans will come down and help us paint it and, just have a big party.
Now, LA's one of the cities up, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Uh-oh. Yep. So we could be getting this epic mural right here.
Yeah. And then people, will come down and help us paint it and stuff, and, we'll clean up a little area of L.A. That's sort of the whole thing is, like, we have this mantra that it's like we do something on our list, and then we help someone we meet do something that they want to do. So with this, it's like we're going to paint the mural, and then we're going to give back by cleaning up this area.
Okay, so one more time, tell everybody how they can go and vote right now so that L.A. can be the city where the Buried Life comes and paints this epic mural, and then we can all get together and help you clean up the city, because we'll all be out there.
Oh, yeah. So it's easy. You just go to clean.orbitgum.com, and you vote on which city we come to. So all you got to do is vote L.A., and when you vote L.A., you get entered to win $5,000.
Wow. What more could you ask for?
I don't know.
Now, I guarantee you, if LA wins, we have such an amazing listening audience, and they just come out for whatever I ask them to come out for in the community. They come out hundreds and hundreds and thousands at a time, and I'm telling you, you will have such a big crowd there that we may have to paint a couple murals and clean up half the city.
Yeah. We can paint my house, too, while we're at it.
Yeah, because that's how we do in LA, okay? And that's how my hot family does it, too. So, guys, congratulations on an incredible show. It's such a great show, and it really, I think, inspires other people to think about what they might want to do in their life that they're not doing, and make a little list, even if it's only 5 things that you want to do. It's an inspiration to really start living while you are alive.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Ben and Duncan, come back anytime. We'd love to hear as you cross things off the list. If you get anything else that's really cool, please come back and see us.
Absolutely.
All right, guys.
All right.
Again, it's clean.orbitgum.com to vote for LA so that we can get them out here to paint this epic mural. Then I believe we can also get part of the city cleaned up, and then you might even win something. So go to clean.orbitgum.com. Let's get LA to get this mural from the Buried Life. You guys have a great day.
Hoot, hoot. Thank you.